The teacup shatters against the wall, and Kennedy Thompson doesn't flinch. Can't flinch. The man who threw it just showed her a video of her brother, oblivious in his dorm room, while 3 armed men stand in his doorway. Ryu Jinwoo sits back down, pours another cup of tea like he didn't just threaten to kill her family, and asks, "Would you like to know who sent me the address?" 6 weeks ago, Kennedy sat in a conference room at the FBI field office in Los Angeles. Fluorescent lights. Bad coffee. Her handler, Special Agent David Chen, sliding a folder across the table. The target's photo was a black silhouette with a question mark. "The Seoul Shadow," Chen said. "Korean Mafia. Controls everything from Koreatown to the ports. Trafficking, extortion, money laundering. We don't have a name. We don't have a face. We just have bodies." Kennedy's assignment: go undercover as a financial consultant. Get hired by one of his front companies. Follow the money until it leads to him. Simple. Clean. Except nothing about this was simple. Kennedy spent 4 weeks building her cover. Got hired at Pacific Trade Solutions, a shipping logistics firm in Koreatown that smelled like printer ink and lies. She ran numbers, filed reports, smiled at her boss, Mr. Park, who had cold eyes and colder hands. And at night, she copied files, followed money trails, found the accounts that didn't add up, found the shipments that came in light and went out heavy, found the pattern. She found the Seoul Shadow. Or rather, he found her. Hey besties, welcome back to another story. If you're new here, you're in the right place. Before we get into this one, if you enjoy stories like this, tap the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. It really helps me keep bringing you more stories like this. Thanks to everyone who already subscribed. Now, let's continue. 3 days ago, she stayed late at the office, downloading encrypted files onto a thumb drive hidden in her lipstick case. She didn't hear the door open, didn't hear the footsteps. Just felt the cold press of a gun barrel against the base of her skull and a voice like silk and steel. Your technique is impressive, but your tradecraft is amateur. The FBI should invest in better training. Now Kennedy sits handcuffed in a chair that costs more than her first car, surrounded by traditional Korean paper screens that glow amber from Los Angeles city lights. The man pouring tea is the most beautiful and terrifying thing she's ever seen. Sharp cheekbones, eyes like black glass, a mouth that hasn't smiled in years. His white shirt is stained with blood from whoever was stupid enough to question him before her. Her mother's coral beads are scattered across the polished bamboo floor. Jin Woo's expensive Italian shoes step over them, crushing one beneath his heel. The tiny crack echoes. 5 berries, 5 flavors, he says, his English perfect, but wrapped in an accent that makes every word dangerous. Sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and pungent. That is a life well lived, Kennedy. You have only given me the bitter flavor of a spy. I am waiting for the rest. Kennedy's pulse screams, but her voice stays steady. 6 years of FBI training compressed into muscle memory. If I don't check in by midnight, this building will be surrounded. Jin Woo's laugh is soft, almost kind. That's what makes it terrifying. Your handlers turned off your GPS 20 minutes ago. You are not a rescue mission. You are a cleanup job. The floor drops out from under her. Chen promised extraction if she was compromised. Promised backup. Promised protection. Jin Woo crouches in front of her, close enough that she smells pine and smoke and expensive cologne. Do you know what nunchi is? Kennedy Thompson? It is the art of reading a room, sensing what is unspoken, surviving by observation. You failed this test the moment you believed your government valued your life more than their operation. He pulls out her phone, unlocks it with her thumbprint, taken while she was unconscious. The video call connects. Marcus appears on screen. Howard University. Headphones on. completely unaware that 3 men in dark suits are standing in his doorway. One is holding a gun. Kennedy's heart stops. Please. He's just a kid. He doesn't know anything. I know. Jinwoo's voice is gentle as a knife. That is why he is still alive. Your family's safety is currency in my world, Kennedy, and I am teaching you how to spend it wisely. He ends the call. Marcus never knew anyone was there. You have been searching for the Seoul Shadow for 6 weeks, Jinwoo says. Let me save you the trouble. You are looking at him. The revelation hits like a physical blow. The faceless monster. The ghost. The legend. He was right in front of her the entire time, and she never saw him. Now, Jinwoo says, let us discuss your future. You will marry me, legitimize my operations, play the perfect wife. In return, your brother finishes college, your father keeps his landscaping business in Chicago. Your aunt in Lagos gets the medical treatment she needs. You will have everything, except your freedom. And if I refuse? Jinwoo shows her another phone, another video. This time it's her father, closing up his shop for the night, completely unaware of the car following him. Then I stop being generous. If you've ever had someone threaten the people you love, you know the choice Kennedy is facing right now. She can fight and lose everyone, or she can surrender and become someone she doesn't recognize. What would you do if you were in her shoe? Drop your answer in the comments section. I'll be reading them. 2 hours later, Kennedy sits in a meeting room that could seat 20, surrounded by men in suits that cost more than her annual salary. Her FBI-issued blazer is gone, replaced with a black silk hanbok jacket that fits perfectly. The air conditioning is Arctic cold. Her wrists still burn from the handcuffs. An older man with silver-streaked hair speaks rapidly in Korean. Mr. Choi. She recognizes him from the files she stole. Lieutenant in Jinwoo's organization. He ran the port operations. Jinwoo sits at the head of the table. Every man here could kill her without blinking, but they all watch him, waiting. Speak, Jinwoo says to her in English. This is a test. Everything is a test. Her training screams, read the room, assess power dynamics. Her instructor's voice echoes. In Korean business culture, hierarchy is everything. Never address a senior directly. Use proper honorifics, or you're dead. But Mr. Choi is staring at her, waiting, and Kennedy's mouth is dry. I think Mr. Choi's proposal has merit, but the timeline seems aggressive given current conditions. The older man stands so fast his chair screams against the floor. He unleashes a torrent of Korean, his face turning red. Kennedy doesn't need translation. She just violated protocol. She addressed him as an equal. She forgot the honorifics. In a room built on respect and blood, she just spit in his face. Jinwoo's hand on the table curls into a fist. His jaw tightens. Then he stands, fluid and controlled. He bows to Mr. Choi, deep and formal, and speaks in Korean. An apology, an explanation, a warning. Mr. Choi looks at Kennedy like she's an insect he's deciding whether to crush. Then he sits. When they're alone, Jinwoo doesn't touch her. He stands by the window overlooking Koreatown's neon sprawl. Do you know what Mr. Choi just called you? I don't speak Korean. He called you a dog who doesn't know its master, and I had to agree with him to save your life. Jinwoo turns to face her. The rules you can see are not the ones that kill you. Your family is safe tonight. Tomorrow depends on how quickly you learn. Kennedy's grandmother used to say, "Baby girl, you watch, you listen. You learn the rules they don't say out loud. That's how we survive." She can almost smell the frying plantains in that Chicago kitchen. But Kennedy's real test hasn't even started yet. The contract marriage happens on a Wednesday. No ceremony. Just paperwork signed in a lawyer's office in downtown LA. Kennedy wears the same clothes from her capture. Jinwoo wears a suit that probably costs more than her car. "You will live in my home in the Hollywood Hills," he says as they leave. "You will attend events as my wife. You will smile. You will be perfect. In return, your family lives." And if I run? Jinwoo stops in the underground parking garage. Fluorescent lights make his skin look like marble. Then I stop being generous. The mansion is a modern fortress tucked into the hills above Los Angeles, all glass and steel with a traditional Korean garden hidden behind high walls. Kennedy's room overlooks the city. She doesn't unpack. She counts exits instead. 8 guards between the gate and the street. 2 service entrances. 1 window that opens onto a 20-foot drop. She palms the lawyer's pen from the signing. Not much of a weapon, but it's something. She's still FBI. Even if Chen abandoned her, she's still looking for the way out. That night, she memorizes the guard rotation. 2-hour shifts. They change at the main gate first. 40-second gap in coverage at the service entrance. Not enough time to run, but enough to gather information. Some hours later, Kennedy finds herself summoned to the dining room. Not her room with a tray, the actual dining room. Jinwoo sits at one end of a table that could seat 12. Mrs. Park is setting out dishes. The smell hits Kennedy first. Savory, complex, layered. Korean food she doesn't recognize, but also something else. Something that makes her throat tight. Plantains. Fried golden. Nigerian style. "Sit," Jinwoo says. Kennedy doesn't move. Why? Because people who live in the same house should eat together occasionally. Or is that not how it works in Chicago? She sits. Mrs. Park places dishes between them. Galbi, kimchi, steamed rice, and the plantains, perfectly caramelized. "I didn't ask for this," Kennedy says, staring at the plantains. "I know." Jinwoo picks up his chopsticks. "Mrs. Park researched Nigerian food. She wanted to make you feel less like a prisoner." "I am a prisoner." "Yes, but you still have to eat." They eat in silence. The plantains taste exactly like her grandmother used to make them. Sweet and savory, the texture perfect. Kennedy's eyes burn, but she doesn't let herself cry. Jinwoo's phone buzzes. He glances at the screen, and for half a second, his face changes. Not the Seoul Shadow. Just a man who's afraid. He silences it without answering. Kennedy files it away. Everyone has a weakness. My mother used to say food was the only honest thing in a dishonest world," Jinwoo says quietly, setting down his chopsticks. "She died when I was 16. Cancer. My father was in prison. She died alone in a charity ward because we couldn't afford treatment." He looks at Kennedy. "That is why I built this. So no one else dies alone because they don't have money." Kennedy stares at him. 6 weeks ago, she was hunting him. Now she's sitting at his table, understanding why he became what he became. Jinwoo stands, leaves without saying goodbye. But Kennedy watches the way his shoulders drop when he thinks she's not looking. The way he pauses at the door like he wants to say something else, but doesn't. On day 7, Kennedy makes her first escape attempt. She waits until 3 a.m., slips out during the guard rotation gap, makes it to the service gate. Her hand is on the lock when she hears the safety click off behind her. "I was wondering how long you would wait," Jinwoo says. Kennedy freezes, calculates her odds. She's fast, but he has a gun. "I am not going to shoot you, Kennedy." He steps closer. "I am going to show you something." He leads her to his office, unlocks a safe, pulls out a tablet and hands it to her. Security feeds. Her father's house, her brother's dorm, her aunt's hospital in Lagos. Every single one has armed guards nearby. Not threatening. Protecting. "Your FBI left you to die," Jinwoo says quietly. "But I am keeping them alive. So ask yourself, who is the real monster?" Kennedy stares at the screens. At Marcus, safe in his bed. At her father, asleep in his chair. At her aunt, recovering from surgery she couldn't afford until someone anonymously paid the bill. "Why?" she whispers. "Because you are mine now, and I protect what is mine." It's not the answer she expected. It's worse, because it's working. Over the next 2 weeks, Kennedy watches, learns. Jin Woo's men don't just run criminal operations. They protect immigrant communities the LAPD ignores. They fund a community center in Koreatown. They deliver cash to families whose businesses were destroyed by rival gangs. The FBI briefing called him a monster, a killer, a criminal. They were right about the criminal part, but they lied about everything else. On day 14, Kennedy spots the tail. Black SUV, 3 cars back, following Jin Woo's motorcade through downtown LA. She's in the car with him, heading to a meeting. She shouldn't care. She should let whatever happens happen. Gather intel. Stay loyal to the badge. But her mouth moves before her brain catches up. Black SUV, 3 o'clock, 2 men in front, following since we left the house. Jin Woo's eyes meet hers in the rearview mirror. "You are certain?" "6 years of FBI training, I'm certain." Jin Woo makes a phone call in Korean. The motorcade changes routes, takes 3 turns. The SUV follows. Then Jin Woo's men box it in at a red light. Later, Jin Woo finds Kennedy in the garden. "The men in that car were sent to kill me. You saved my life today. I saved mine. If you die, your men kill my family." "Is that the only reason?" Kennedy doesn't answer. Can't answer. Because she's not sure anymore. "Come," Jin Woo says. "There is something you should see." He takes her to a warehouse in Vernon. Inside, fewer rows of computers, monitors showing financial transactions, shipping manifests, port schedules. This is the nerve center, the heart of the Seoul Shadow's empire. "This is what your FBI wanted," Jin Woo says. "This is what they sent you to find." Kennedy's training screams at her to memorize everything: layouts, access points, security weaknesses. "Why are you showing me this?" "Because you proved today that you are not my enemy, and I want you to understand what you are protecting." He pulls up files on the main monitor, names, addresses, photos. "These are the people we protect. Korean families who fled gang violence in Seoul, Nigerian immigrants running from Boko Haram, Ethiopian refugees escaping war. The system does not protect them, Kennedy. The police do not protect them. So I do." He opens another file. This one makes Kennedy's blood run cold. Sex trafficking rings, drug operations, protection rackets. Not Jin Woo's operations, his rivals. "These are the monsters your FBI ignores because they are too busy chasing me. Because I don't pay them enough. Because I refuse to be controlled." Kennedy stares at the evidence, at the faces of women who disappeared, children who were taken, families destroyed by the real criminals while the FBI wasted resources on Jin Woo. "Your government calls me the Seoul Shadow because I operate in darkness. But they created the darkness, Kennedy. They left these people in it. I simply learned to use it." This is the moment where everything Kennedy believed starts to crack. The good guys aren't good. The monster is the only one telling the truth. If this twist hit you the way it hit her, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications if you haven't. Drop a like and let me know in the comments. Have you ever had to choose between what's right and what's real? That night, Kennedy makes a decision. She stops looking for escape routes, stops planning extraction. She takes the lawyer's pen from her nightstand and throws it in the trash. She's not running anymore. Not because she's trapped. Because she doesn't want to. On day 19, Mrs. Park invites Kennedy to help prepare dinner for a community gathering. 50 people from Koreatown coming to Jin Woo's house. Kennedy expects to be decoration. Instead, Mrs. Park hands her a knife. "I teach you something," Mrs. Park says. They spend the afternoon preparing traditional Korean dishes. kimchi jjigae, japchae, bulgogi. Mrs. Park's hands move with practiced precision, and Kennedy watches, learns. When you serve Mr. Choi tonight, Mrs. Park says quietly, you will use formal speech, John Dae Mal. Not because you fear him, because you respect the order of things. You say, Choi Seon Sengnim, please enjoy this meal we prepared for you. You bow. Like this. Mrs. Park demonstrates. Kennedy copies. Better, Mrs. Park says. And for the first time, she almost smiles. That evening, the house fills with laughter and conversation. Kennedy wears a hanbok Jinwoo had made for her. Deep blue silk with Nigerian Ankara fabric woven into the trim. Lagos and Seoul together. When she serves Mr. Choi, she bows correctly. Speaks the formal Korean Mrs. Park taught her. The old man's eyes widen slightly. Then he nods. Better, he says in English. Much better. Kennedy catches Jinwoo watching from across the room. Something that might be pride crosses his face. But what she doesn't see is the man watching from a car outside. Special Agent David Chen, tracking his investment. Waiting for the right moment to collect. 3 days later, Jinwoo finds Kennedy in the garden at sunset. The city sprawls below them, golden hour turning everything amber and soft. There is an event tomorrow night, he says, a charity gala at the Beverly Hilton. You will attend as my wife. Another test? No. A trap. His voice is calm, matter of fact. I have enemies who believe I have become weak. Distracted. They will attempt to kill me tomorrow night. And I am going to let them try. Kennedy's training kicks in. That's suicide. It is strategy. Sometimes you must be the bait to catch the bigger fish. And me? Am I bait too? Jinwoo's hand finds hers. You're the only person I trust to watch my back. The words settle into Kennedy's chest like an anchor. The Beverly Hilton ballroom glitters with Los Angeles elite. Politicians, movie stars, business moguls. Everyone smiles. Everyone lies. Kennedy wears a black gown with Nigerian coral beads woven into the bodice. Jinwoo had them repaired, restrung, returned to her this morning without explanation. She touches them now, feeling her mother's memory in the smooth surface. Jinwoo's hand rests on her lower back as they enter. To everyone watching, they look like newlyweds. No one sees how Kennedy's eyes catalog every exit, every face, every potential threat. Then she sees him, across the ballroom. Special Agent David Chen, her handler. The man who promised backup. The man who turned off her GPS and left her to die. Their eyes meet. He doesn't look surprised. He looks satisfied. Like everything is going exactly as planned. Kennedy's pulse spikes. Jinwoo feels it immediately. What is wrong? 3 o'clock. Navy suit. That's Chen, my FBI handler. I know who he is. Before Kennedy can ask what that means, the lights flicker. Once, twice. Then someone screams. The first gunshot sounds like a champagne cork. The second sounds like the end of the world. Kennedy's body moves before her brain catches up. 6 years of training compressed into 3 seconds. She spots the shooter on the balcony, sees the angle, calculates trajectory. Jinwoo is the target. She's already moving, already grabbing his arm, already pulling him down as the third shot shatters the champagne fountain where his head was a moment ago. They hit the ground together. Glass rains down. People scream, running, trampling each other. Kennedy covers Jinwoo's body with her own, her hand reaching for a weapon she doesn't have. Then she feels it, the burning, the wetness spreading across her left shoulder. She's been shot. Kennedy. Jinwoo's voice sounds far away. Kennedy, look at me. She tries to focus, but the ballroom spins. The pain hasn't hit yet, but it will. Jinwoo's men appear, surrounding them. Someone shouts in Korean. Someone calls for a doctor. Jin-woo lifts Kennedy like she weighs nothing, carrying her through a service exit while his men hunt the shooter. The safe house is the apartment in Koreatown that smells like disinfectant and fear. Kennedy lies on a medical table while a doctor with shaking hands digs the bullet out of her shoulder. Jin-woo holds her hand, and she doesn't remember reaching for him, but his grip is the only thing keeping her from screaming. "Almost done," the doctor says. "You are very lucky." Kennedy doesn't feel lucky. She feels like she's burning alive. When it's over, when she's stitched and bandaged and pumped full of painkillers, Jin-woo dismisses everyone. It's just them. And for the first time since she met him, Ryu Jin-woo looks human, vulnerable, terrified. "You took a bullet for me." "Don't." Kennedy's voice is rough. "Don't make it into something it wasn't." "Then what was it?" Kennedy doesn't have an answer. The silence stretches between them. Jin-woo sits beside her. He's still in his bullet-grazed tuxedo, still has her blood on his hands. "I need to tell you something I have never told anyone." The painkillers make everything soft and unreal. "My family was not always part of the Kangpai. My grandfather was a farmer in Jeolla province. During the Korean War, soldiers came. They took everything, burned the fields, killed anyone who resisted. My grandfather survived by becoming what they were, a monster. He built this empire on blood and necessity. He taught my father that the only way to protect what you love is to become more frightening than what threatens it." Jin-woo's voice breaks. "I inherited his empire and his Han, the sorrow we carry in our bones, the grief that has no name, the rage that has no target. I have carried it my entire life, Kennedy. I have carried it alone." Kennedy's good hand finds his. "You don't have to carry it alone anymore." The words surprise her as much as him, but she means them. Jin-woo's fingers tighten around hers. "The man at the gala, Agent Chen. He is the one who ordered the assassination." Kennedy's world tilts. "What?" Jin-woo shows her his phone, bank transfers, encrypted emails, audio recordings. David Chen has been working with a rival gang, trying to take over Jin-woo's network. The FBI assignment was fake from the start. Kennedy wasn't an undercover agent, she was bait. Disposable. "He was going to let me die," Kennedy whispers. "He was going to let us both die. He gets my territory. His partners get the ports. And 2 bodies at a charity gala become collateral damage." Rage floods through Kennedy, hot, clean, clarifying. The badge was supposed to mean something, but they sold her out. "What do we do?" she asks. Jin-woo's smile is sharp enough to cut. "We make them regret it." Kennedy just burned her entire career to expose the truth. She chose loyalty over the system. Now here's my question for you. If your family was in danger, would you trust a corrupt system or a loyal criminal? Type system or loyalty in the comments. I'm genuinely curious where you stand. 2 weeks after the shooting, Kennedy's shoulder still burns under the bandages, but she walks into the FBI field office in Los Angeles like she owns it. She wears her mother's Nigerian head tee, the fabric bright against her dark skin, and a traditional Korean silk coat. The coral beads from her mother rest against her collarbones, each one repaired and returned to her by the man she married. Jin-woo's men wait in the lobby, not as muscle, as witnesses. The office smells like burnt coffee and government-issue carpet. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead, casting everything in sickly yellow. Kennedy's shoulder throbs with each step, but she doesn't let it show. Special Agent Chen is in a conference room. His assistant tries to stop Kennedy. She walks past her like she's not there. Kennedy doesn't knock. She opens the door mid-presentation. 6 junior agents stare. Chen goes pale. "Kennedy." His smile is plastic, desperate. "You're alive. We've been so worried." "Liar." The word drops like a grenade. Kennedy throws a folder on the conference table. Documents spill out. Bank statements, emails, audio recordings of Chen negotiating with the Jade Dragon Triad, plans to eliminate Jin Woo and take over his territory. Plans to make Kennedy's death look like crossfire. You tried to have me killed. You tried to have Ryu Jin-woo killed so you and your partners could take over his network. You turned me into bait, and when I outlived my usefulness, you turned off my GPS and left me to die. Chen's face goes from pale to red. His hands shake. That's absurd. You have no proof that would hold up in... Actually, I have a federal prosecutor on speed dial who disagrees. I also have 3 senators, 2 journalists from the LA Times, and a very interested internal affairs division waiting for my call. So you can either confess now, or I can make this the biggest scandal in FBI history. One of the junior agents is recording on her phone. Kennedy sees it. Doesn't stop her. Let the whole world see. Chen's hands shake as he reads the documents. Each page is another nail in his coffin. His career ends in the time it takes to turn them. Why? Kennedy's voice is quiet now. Deadly. Why did you do it? Chen's laugh is broken glass. Because I was tired of watching criminals get rich while we scrape by on government salaries. Because the system is broken and I wanted my peace. Because someone like him doesn't deserve what he has. Someone like him, Kennedy repeats. You mean someone who actually protects the people you swore an oath to serve? He's a criminal. And you tried to have me murdered. Kennedy leans forward. I want to hear you admit it. I want to hear you say you were willing to kill me for money. Chen looks at her. For a moment, she sees the man he used to be. Before the greed, before the betrayal. Then that man disappears, leaving only a coward. Yes, he whispers. I was willing to kill you. Kennedy straightens, turns, walks out. Behind her, she hears handcuffs clicking, Miranda rights being read. Justice sounds like metal on metal and broken men trying to explain the inexplicable. Jin Woo is waiting outside in his car. Kennedy slides into the passenger seat. Los Angeles traffic rushes past like the city doesn't even know what just happened. It's done, she says. How do you feel? Kennedy thinks about it. She thought she'd feel triumphant, vindicated. Instead, she just feels tired and free. I feel like I don't know who I am anymore. I'm not FBI. I'm not exactly your wife. I'm not fully American or fully part of your world. I'm just in between. Jin-woo reaches over, takes her hand. In Korean, we have a word, sajangam. It means to embrace the in-between, to find strength in the spaces between worlds. Is that what we are? Kennedy touches the coral beads at her throat. The in-between? Yes, Jin-woo says, and perhaps that is exactly where we need to be. 3 months later, Kennedy stands in Jin-woo's garden, watching the sun rise over Los Angeles. The city stretches out below them, already moving, already forgetting yesterday's scandals. Her shoulder has healed, leaving a scar she touches sometimes when she needs to remember that she survived. Her FBI badge is in a box somewhere, along with the woman she used to be. Jin-woo finds her there, brings her tea. Not the magnolia berry tea from that first night. Just simple green tea that tastes like new beginnings. Your brother called, he says. He wants to visit for Christmas. I told him about us. Him about everything. Kennedy's heart stutters. And? He said he wants to meet the man who kept him alive when his own government wouldn't. The words settle into Kennedy's chest, warm and right. She thinks about the woman she was 6 months ago. The FBI agent who thought the world was simple. Good guys and bad guys. Right and wrong. That woman is gone, burned away in the fire of betrayal and survival and love she never saw coming. In her place is someone new. Someone who learned that morality is more complicated than a badge. Someone who learned that family is not always blood, and home is not always safe, and love is not always gentle. someone who learned to live in the in-between. Jinwoo's hand finds hers and Kennedy holds on. Not because she has to, because she wants to. We spend our lives running toward the light, terrified of the shadows. But Kennedy learned that the light can blind you, while the shadows can shield you. Sometimes you have to marry the monster to kill the ghost. Sometimes the badge doesn't make you good, and blood on your hands doesn't make you evil. Sometimes you have to become the in-between to survive. I wrote this story because I believe we're all living in the in-between spaces, between cultures, between identities, between who we were and who we're becoming. Kennedy's journey mirrors that struggle. She went undercover hunting a faceless monster and found a man protecting the people her own government abandoned. She was supposed to be the hero, but the real monsters were wearing badges. Now here's what I need to know. What do you think happens next? Does Kennedy help Jinwoo dismantle the corrupt FBI agents still in play? Does she become the Seoul Shadow's true partner in protecting their community? Or does her past catch up with them in ways they can't escape? Drop your theories below. I'm reading every single comment, and your ideas might just inspire the next chapter of this story. Thank you for watching till the end. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe before leaving. Your support means a lot. See you in the next story.